2,000 CDs that I put away last year, but I'm unsatisfied. Why? This is a box full of cassettes. And this is another box full of cassettes. And this is a shelf full of records. And I'm unsatisfied because these cassettes are not organized, and the record shelf, while was originally alphabetized, has slowly but surely gotten worse and worse over the years, and I just need everything to be organized. So, now that all of the CDs are organized, I can finally get to organizing the cassettes and fixing the records. Let's do this! So, I basically just got to taking everything out of the box, and there was a lot of random stuff in there. There was a lot of mixtapes and homemade cassettes, which was really, really fun to look through. And there was also a bunch of store-bought cassettes, as I expected there to be. So I just kind of got to taking everything out and organizing it based on what it was. If it was a store-bought cassette or a homemade mixtape, or if the case was empty, or if it didn't have a case, I just kind of made little piles based on everything. So after I took everything out of the box, I got to kind of better organizing of everything rather than just big piles in front of me on the table. I tried to reunite some of the cassettes that didn't have a box with the empty mixtape boxes, but not a lot of them actually matched up as I thought they were going to. I ended up with a big mystery pile though, so there was just a bunch of cassettes where I was like, I don't know what these are, and they're just gonna go in some unmarked cases. So then after that, I got to making really neat piles out of everything so that I could count everything to see how much space I would need and how much storage I would need to acquire, because we definitely did not have enough room and I would need to get some more storage boxes. Then I decided to go through the storage box that we already had and just kind of go through everything and alphabetize it. I decided to put all of our store-bought cassettes in these storage boxes. I also put a lot of my dad's friends' bands into this brown case. I figured they could be kind of their own thing, so that's what I put in there. But yeah, I basically just alphabetized the cassettes on the table like I did with the CDs. I made little letter piles on the table. I knew that it wasn't all going to fit in there, but I just wanted to see how much room I was going to need to get for the store-bought cassettes. So I ended up buying 2 more cassette storage boxes, and I finished out putting the store-bought cassettes into another one. You can see me organizing them on the table and then putting them away in alphabetical order. I bought this and they advertised it to me as having more slots than it actually did, so some of them would fall down in the back, and so if you see me like opening the drawer and like reorganizing everything, that's wise, because it fell over and I was like, oh, I have to move everything around, but it was okay. Everything ended up fitting, so it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just more work that had to be done. Then I got to organizing the mixtapes into a really large cassette organizing drawer, and I alphabetized them based on what was written on the outside by my dad. It was just really cool to go through these because I felt like they were all very specific, like my dad's music taste, specifically in this snapshot in time. So it was really cool to just like go through this, and you know, I felt very connected to my dad at that point in his life. I don't know, it was just cool to like go through his music and see what it was like. I also ended up putting those mystery tapes behind the soundtracks because that's where they could fit. But I decided to reorganize everything because I wasn't super satisfied with how it ended up turning out. I wanted to have a whole section for the wake because we just have so much of the wake. So I ended up putting it in that white bin, and then I put the mystery tapes where the wake was, and then I put the rest of the wake behind the soundtracks, and I feel like that makes a lot more sense. Now it's time to go through some treasure. I really love this Beastie Boys cassette. I think it's so fun how the packaging is like cardboard and you can open it, and I think that's really, really cool. I also think this is so funny how it says it's Danny's Way Cool tape, and I think it was gifted to my dad because that's not his handwriting. But what do you think? Is this track listing way cool to you? I also thought it was so fun how my dad just drew like the band logos on the side of the cassettes that he made, and I asked my dad why he did that, why he put in the extra effort to like draw the band logo, and he was like, oh, it just made it easier to see in your big cassette collection, which honestly made a lot of sense. Then I was left with kind of a box of random things of either broken cassettes or empty cases, but that's my dad's job to figure out. So I then went to go organize the records, but I was feeling very intimidated by that giant shelf, so I decided instead to organize the 7 inches and the 10 inches because that seemed a little bit more doable and a lot less insane. So I got to alphabetizing everything again on the table like I did with the CDs and the cassettes. I just put everything into its own alphabetical order, and I had never gone through my dad's 7-inch collection before, so it was really cool to just like kind of discover what we have in the 7 inches. It was just very fun to go through it all and see what special 7 inches my dad had. So here's a shot of the table, kind of alphabetized a little bit, but I wanted to perfectly alphabetize it. So then I perfectly alphabetized everything into its respective letter piles. Now I'm going to show some goodies that I found. We have so many Green Day 7 inches from the Warning era, which I thought was so cool, including a red and green version of Minority, which I wanted to steal from my dad, but he wouldn't let me. I also thought it was funny how I discovered this Duran Duran single when I literally bought one for myself, which I didn't have to do because my parents had it, so it's just like, come on, man. Also, I wanted to show off my dad's Sisters of Mercy 7-inch collection because when I said I was going to organize them, he was like, oh, I have such a good 7-inch Sisters of Mercy collection, and I was like, well, I guess you do. I also found the single for 9.5 Weeks by John Taylor, which I happen to own the 12-inch of, so that was just kind of funny to discover that my mom and I kind of completed the collection together. This 45 is really interesting. It's shaped like the United States of America, and it's got 2 songs from a state on it, and it's just really interesting. I will say it's very difficult to find where the song starts and ends because it's green and a weird shape, but you know, it's cool. And then I went to organizing the 10 inches. We have a lot less of these, but they're also kind of a lot less common to have, so I'm not surprised that we didn't have that many of them. Then it was time to finally tackle the record shelf. The first thing I had to do was to clean it because over the years the spiders have decided that the bottom shelf of it is their home now, which no, it's a place for records, so it's time to vacuum some more shelving. But yeah, then I just started on the organizing, and I did these in time lapses. As you can see, I've done a lot more time lapses this time, so hooray. And I'm just gonna leave you guys to watch me do the organizing through these time lapses. I'm gonna leave and then come back for the final thoughts. I also just want to come in here and talk about that Woodstock box set that I had to squeeze out of the record shelf. The records themselves are not water damaged, but the shelf is. So it kind of swelled a little bit and stuck that Woodstock box set into there, and I had to really yank it out. I did not enjoy that, so the Woodstock box set will not be going back into the shelf. It will be going somewhere else. It was just, a little bit wood stuck, if you will. You thought we were done? Jazz. So the jazz was pretty simple and easy to do. There wasn't a lot of it. Just organized it. I did accidentally corrupt half of the footage. So if there's a little bit of a jump in time, that's why. There was a few vinyl throughout the process that I found sealed, and the shrink wrap that was just shrinking a little bit too much, and so I didn't open it right away. There's this one video that I saw. The shrink wrap had shrunk so badly that the record just wouldn't play anymore. I've always been afraid of that happening to our records, so I'm a big person where I don't like to leave my record shrink wrapped. If you're a person who likes to, totally on you, up to you. I asked my dad, hey, the shrink wrap is shrinking too much. Can I cut these? And he was like, yes, you can cut those if it's shrinking too much. So luckily I was able to save them. Now we're just gonna get into the goodies of stuff that I found. Led Zeppelin 3 has one of my favorite covers ever for a vinyl. I think it's so fun to do that. Just yes, you can't get that unless it's a vinyl, that's awesome. I also found that we had a copy of Let It Be Naked, which I know is a little bit sought after, so that was cool to find. We also have all the anthologies and the 2 singles, so that was super cool. It was so cool to line them up. Very satisfying. We also have these Kiss picture discs, which I just think are super fun. I love a picture disc. I know the sound quality might be not as good on a picture disc, but I love the gimmick so much. I love the Love and Rockets cover designs. Let me tell you, I was enjoying putting these away. I'm like, this is cool looking. So whoever is the graphic designer for Love and Rockets, I'm a fan. Also, we just have so much Warning era Green Day stuff, which to me is very, very, very awesome. I love Warning, and the fact that we have the Adeline Records green vinyl, which you can't get anymore, that's just awesome. Another cool thing we have is this insert that came in it, which is an advertisement for Adeline Records, which to me is very awesome because, again, they don't exist anymore. You got a free sticker with every order, but now this order slip doesn't work anymore because the record company went out of business. So RIP Adeline Records. So we have completed the physical media of the Crow soundtrack. We also have it on DVD. People might be like, oh, what about it on Laserdisc? What about it on 8-track? What about it on VHS? I don't care. I feel like this is a complete Crow collection, so I think that's very cool. We also have so many Hello Nasty things. We have the 12-inch single for Intergalactic, Hello Nasty as black and yellow vinyl, and a black Hello Nasty that's unopened. All of these 12-inch flats that are super cool. We have it on CD. We have it on cassette. If you need Hello Nasty stuff, come over to my house because we got it. And now it's time for the final shots of the collection. Here are all the cassettes in alphabetical order for you to look through, so you can look at them now if you would like. I'm gonna shut up as I do this final montage, so you can just take a look at our collection and enjoy. And that's it. That's everything. Everything is perfect and organized and alphabetized and away. I'm so happy. I did not manage to count how many records we have, so I still don't know, but all the math whizzes out there, you can do the math if you want. The amount of cassettes we have, I did count. I don't know it off the top of my head, so I'll just put it on the screen. That's how many. Every single thing, music thing in my parents' collection is organized perfectly. What a relief. What a relief. It just feels so good to say that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye!